it's Lainey. Welcome back, and welcome if you're new to Crafted by Lucas. I am very excited for today because it's finally time to start crafting for spring, which is hands down my favorite season to actually craft for. So we've got some vinyl crafts, iron on. We're gonna do a little bit of print then cut. I am very excited about that particular project. I hope it turns out, but you know, we will see. For those who are joining for the first time, I would love it if you subscribed. If you're curious about this, I live tiny and travel around the United States full time, so this is my craft space. Be sure to give this a thumbs up to support my channel, and let's go ahead and get started with crafts. Okay guys, so I've got everything here, and we're just gonna start with the top. So the top is cardstock, and here we go. So for project number 1, I pulled cardstock from this bushy floral pack from Hobby Lobby, and I originally pulled both of these because I really liked this pack. I've used this before on the channel, but these blues and pinks were just remind me more of summer. This was more for spring and Easter because it's got those lighter pastels, and this is from Hobby Lobby as well. And I've got 2 of these. The other one that I have is larger and it's got the trim around it. I selected the smaller one because of the sizes. These are 6x6 sheets and it is quite thick, so that is nice too because we're going to use some Mod Podge. And then I've got, as I'm shaking this up, I've got this little piece here that I painted and some iron on gold. So incorporate some of the Cricut in here into this craft. So I just shook up this Mod Podge. It's always so cakey around the edges. Don't you guys hate that? If you ever use Mod Podge, or even any kind of adhesive, right? It always does that. Okay, so going to apply a layer here quickly, and then we'll lay the cardstock down. And just to get it glued down here. I really love using pattern paper this way. Last year I found a really pretty pattern paper from Joann's. I just bought the sheet and I applied it to a wooden bunny that I got from Hobby Lobby last year. I went to Hobby Lobby the other day and they have it this year as well. And then we put a nice little bow on it with chiffon ribbon. It turned out so cute. So I'm paying attention to the direction here of the pattern and the flowers. So I think we're gonna go this way. And just getting this pressed down. And then let's just go ahead and turn it over. And I'm just gonna set that off to the side and let that start to dry. We can put the lid on this, and then we'll go ahead and weed our iron on here. Oh, real quick, because I said I just went to Hobby Lobby, a couple things that I picked up. This really nice iron on. It's called Pressed Flowers. How nice. I want to make, what I'm thinking is some kind of garden flag for outside for Easter, spring. I really like it. And then I got some carrots, which are different from the ones that I used last year. They have the ones that I used last year, but I want to change it up. So that is going to be coming to the channel for this season. This is definitely my favorite season, guys. So excited. Okay. This stuff's been cut out for, man, 3 weeks. So I don't remember, which is good and bad. I do have everything saved on my computer, so I can pull this up to use as a reference if I need to. Just gotta go slow and focus here for a moment. Does it say blessed? Oh no, it says spring. Okay, so now I'm just going to weed out these centerpieces. Okay, I had to step away for a moment, but I've got my mini press going. It is heating up to medium heat, and I've got my heat gun heated up as well. So we are gonna iron on the white one, I believe. I painted both of them because I originally wanted to go with the pink, but the whites I feel like is going to look a lot better and really stand out, because this pink is just not, I just don't think it's the right shade of pink. It doesn't look bad, but I think the white just really stands out a bit more. And these are just farmhouse signs. This is from Dollar Tree. It was 3 pieces, and this is what it looked like. And I just added a layer or 2 of chalk paint to it, and this is what we've got. So it is a really dark background, and this pink isn't a very light pink either. I think I only put 1 coat on there just to kind of see, and I was like, I think I want to go with white. So just so you know, this is how it's being brought together. Our mini press is heated up. Let me align this here. Maybe it'll be better if I hold it up. And I think I just typed in spring under images in Cricut Design Space and found this. Yeah, because this isn't a font that I have. So for this, if you like this spring, like I said, I don't have the font information, but what I did was just typed in spring in under images in Design Space, and it will have a lot of spring things and then also just text just like this. And I'm using my HGV Ront mini press today, and I've got it on a medium heat. And I am not using my glass mat today. So let's see here. I need to pay attention to the heat because I don't have a protected surface. So I'm just going to come in with firm pressure for probably about 30 seconds, and I'm just monitoring this as well. So I wasn't paying attention. I got a little bit of my heat press on the painted surface. One way I could mitigate that is by putting a piece of material over it to protect it, but it's okay. I kind of like that little worn look. I do have a sanding block, and I can kind of do that around the edges to make that look more intentional. But I think that will look good to kind of break that up and make it a little more rustic looking. So what I want to do is just let this cool down. So I'm just going to set it off to the side, and now I think I need to bring in my glass mat. I moved it out of the way because my lights reflect off the glass mat, and I know that is kind of an eyesore. It is for me. So let me bring that in for a moment and we can get this cut out. Okay, so bringing in my house, so you can see my light right there. I need to like make a logo sticker or something and make something permanent. This piece here is from my other lights that I don't always have on, but hopefully that doesn't bother you guys too much while I just kind of work on this project real quick. I'm taking my True Control blade, and my blade needs to be replaced. This is so dull. But I just glide it on my glass mat. It does scratch my glass mat, but it's hardly noticeable. It's my craft mat. I'm just using it. I don't want to ruin it, but some scratches here and there are not gonna bother me. Okay. And if you didn't have any cardstock that you liked, you could always use HGV pattern iron-on. Done that before too. Actually, I think I did that last year for Easter. I will do my best to link my spring and Easter videos that I made last year down below. What you can do, I believe you can click on either the title, or there might be like a little drop down arrow. You can click on that, and then the description box will open up, and I'll have like my Instagrams listed first, and then links to some of the products I use in the video, and scroll all the way down, and then it'll show videos that I have selected for y'all to view if you want to see those videos. So this is what we've got. I was kind of having some issues with that little piece there, but how pretty is this cardstock? And like I said, if you've got pattern iron on that you've just been sitting on because you aren't inspired to use it on fabric, you can use it on wood. Okay. So I still have my mini press on in case I need to apply more heat to this, but that's stuck down so nicely. I did just bring out my jute twine because I just was thinking that maybe I could. I love these kind of crafts, guys. This really makes me happy. Just these little things. It's the little things. And it's just a little paper, a wooden house, some gold, and some string. Just love it. Okay, so I am going to just trim this off. And let's fold this back. Let's lay it down. So I'm thinking something like this. Does that look weird? Having this in the background. Okay, so this is beeping. It's been on too long. We are done using it. So let's just go ahead and turn it off. So if I did this, I could pop this up with pop dots. It would give it some nice dimension. And I do like the added texture that the jute twine provides. But let's remove that and just maybe do this and see. Because this was my original plan. Okay, so to use jute twine or to not. Let's just do without. I don't think that I'll like the look of the pop dots. I don't really think it matters. I don't know. So we've got the hot glue. Let's make sure that this is going to be aligned. Centering the circle there. And I also bought squares of these from Dollar Tree. You could use the squares too for a lot of different projects, like framing projects and stuff. Okay guys, so this is craft number 1. I love it. Let me know what you think. Should I have added the jute twine? I don't know. I love it though. Either way, I love the colors. It's perfect for spring. Let me clean this up. Let's turn this off and I'll move in with craft number 2. All right, so let's go ahead and do another iron-on craft. So I'm going to come back in with my mini press and put it on medium heat. And once it's heated up, it'll chime and turn green. I am using this. It came in a roll with 2 or 3 other patterns from Cricut. This is an older iron-on. I'm not sure if I'll be able to find it anymore. But I really like this pink, and I think you're really going to like what I'm going to do with this L. It's a simple, subtle piece of decor. But if you find the right material, it just kind of transforms it. So I'm super excited about this. So I'm just going to press this down firmly here. I'm working in this section first, and it's seeming to be really adhered. So where did I find this L from? I think I got this L from Walmart. Oh shoot. I am just not being very graceful today. That is weird. So the iron-on separated underneath the liner. So I just spread it back. Okay, so I've got to be very careful. Let me turn this over here. Yeah, I'm not familiar with this. So I believe I got this from Walmart, like I said, and the blank that we're putting this on is from Walmart as well. And it's actually something that I used last year for Easter. And we're going to reuse it for spring. So I am kind of going along the edges with my mini press here. Hopefully this is not a dud project, because this iron-on is acting very, I guess it's kind of being sensitive. I don't know. It is older. Never had this occur. And I use iron-on other materials quite often. Okay, so I think that that is enough heat. I was just really trying to make sure that those edges were really pressed down. So now let's just turn this over on our glass mat, because this is a cooler surface and it's going to draw that heat out much faster. And we're going to do the same process. I'm going to use my True Control blade to cut off the excess. And it's pretty cool now. Okay, so I finished cutting out the iron-on, and I can always use this for scraps, that larger piece, so I'm going to keep that for a smaller project. And I have to say that replacing the blade, this was so much smoother. Let's remove that liner. And you could always wait for this to cool down and remove the liner and then cut it, but I just wanted to make sure that I kept the liner on this, so that's why I did it in this order. Do what you want to do there. This lifted up a bit, so I think I need to iron that down a bit more. I really hate that that happened in that little area. And there's pink on that. I don't know what that's from. So I just put that liner right back over on top of that iron on there. Just to add a little more heat to that problem area. And I think everything else stuck down nicely. So I'm going to let that cool back down, turning this back over. Once it's cooled down, I can really look along the edges to see if I need to clean up any more little areas with my blade. I like it. I think it looks pretty good. Just a little bit around this corner here. And this is a lot thinner now that it doesn't have that protective carrier sheet on it. All right, so I distressed it a little bit in the trash, just sanded off the edges a little bit over the trash can and then wiped this down. Now I'm bringing in my blank here. And like I said, this is from Walmart as well, and I used this last year, and it's already painted like this, and then the rest is the natural wood. And we are just going to hot glue this down. And I thought this would be a nice spring piece for my bathroom and my craft space. And also just to put something up on the bare wall. And this is for Lainey, it's for Lucas. It's the nice thing about having the same initial for your first and your last name. Everything is for me and then for my husband too, right? Because it's his L is the initial for his last name too. So I had to turn this back on and it's not quite ready. I'm trying to move fast because I already started. And I had a new stick. Okay, it's starting to heat up. So last year we used the carrots on here with some vinyl. Something about carrot patch or something. I really liked my crafts last year. Let's see if we can do that again. Okay, is it centered? Is it aligned? I don't know. Let me hold it up. I think so, actually. I didn't measure it. That would have probably been the smarter thing to do, and I could have marked it with a little pencil. But super simple craft. Another way just to use that patterned iron-on. Or it could have been regular HTV as well. It doesn't necessarily have to be iron-on. If it sticks down, you can cut off the excess, right? All right, guys, this is craft number 2. I love this. This is going to look so good in the bathroom. It's going to brighten it up even more. All right, so now this isn't necessarily a Cricut craft, but you can definitely make these with your Cricut machine. I found these from Dollar Tree and I had to bring them to the channel and see how they turn out. This is from Target. It was $5. It's their Mondo Llama. I just took some chalk paint and added a little on the rainbow swoop, if you will. Okay, arch, I guess is the word that I'm looking for. So it says felt flower kit. It's 17 pieces in here. Little piece here. It's got 6 types of flowers, and then the others are leaves. And I have made paper flowers before with my Cricut, but never felt. We will bring that to the channel sometime this year. I am going through tutorials, put out new stuff for 2025. So it looks like it's cut, but I've got to remove the excess here. So that's what I'm doing. Okay. So hopefully I don't rip the wrong thing here. Okay, so that is a flower. This is the excess. If you've never made flowers with your Cricut, whether felt or paper, the same process. It cuts out this circular type shape, and then you roll it and it becomes a flower. It's really neat. And we've got one more here. And I still have my hot glue gun on because we are going to use that to make sure that these are put together. Okay, so it's got, which one's starting first? It's showing this one here, and I have some roller tools. I think tweezers will work. Let me grab some of those and see. So I do have specific tools for rolling flowers because I made something with paper flowers 2 years ago. I used to have it on my channel, but I took it off. I've had my channel for 2 years now, or we're about to hit 2 years. And I've deleted a lot of videos just because I was trying to figure out this whole deal, and some of it's cringe. I know I should leave that stuff up, but I just don't want it on the internet. It's nice to see the growth and the confidence, but yeah, I just had to take it down. So this is a little bitty guy, but that is how that worked. So this is a bigger one, so you might be able to see a bit better. So what I am doing here, have it laid out. I'm going to start on the outer edge, and I'm just going to grab my tweezers, and I'm going to start rolling in and keeping it tight, and you just keep rolling until you're out of material. And then that end piece, that circular piece in the middle, is the flap for the bottom. You can see how this is just rolling up so nice. Okay, so carefully remove those tweezers there. Now I'm just going to add the glue in the center. This one's a lot easier to see because it's so much bigger of a piece. And then just lay this flap on top of that hot glue. Now that is the base. And then you can kind of just fluff it out like so. And there you've got another flower. So I've got one more here. I'm going to do the same thing. This is kind of like a succulent, I guess. A succulent of sorts. That's something that I miss so much about. I know I mentioned this last year, I'm sure, because it's always on my mind every spring, since spring is my favorite. I miss having a little garden. I used to collect succulents and propagate them. I had so many. All the colors, so pretty. So living tiny and traveling full time, can't really have all the plants, right? It's just a lot to do. We've been traveling for 5 years at the end of this month, and this is the beginning of March as I'm recording this. And I do have plants, but not very many, just a few. Okay, and not really succulents. I have a couple, but I don't really keep succulents because the past 3 years, half of the year we were in Wyoming, and it's not a good area for that kind of plant. And I don't get the best sun. We didn't get the best sun in our last house, but since we've bought a new fifth wheel, we have a lot more windows and open. It's much more open, so my plants can get more sun being inside, but before that wasn't the case. So I added a little more hot glue there, and I'm just kind of tearing off some of that excess. So now we've got our flowers wound, and then we've got this one here that needs to be glued together. Same with this one, and then we can add the leaves. And then we've got these little details here. So I'm going to speed this up and put some music on while I finish these little flowers, and then we'll make some kind of arrangement on our rainbow. Okay, so for this flower here, I was supposed to, it's 3 layers, and I was supposed to pinch them together at those slits and then stack them up, and then this was the center, so they don't have the fluff to it. The petals don't have the fluff to it as it's supposed to have. And I was trying to fix it, but I'm just getting hot glue everywhere. So I'm trying to kind of bring this in together with the center here. Hot, hot, hot. So let me just try to bring this together to kind of fix this. And if not, then I just won't use this flower. I'm not sure if I'm going to use the flower regardless, but so I just turned it around and applied the hot glue from the back side, and I'm just folding in the petals to try to create a little more of a base here for that center of the flower, because before it would have just kind of went right through the petals. But honestly, I think this is a really nice kit for $1.25. And I also have this little piece here that I'm not going to use, so I'm just going to set that aside. I'm getting tired of all the wispies from the hot glue gun. All right, so I really think this one is cute. I like the colors. And we've got our leaves here. Actually, let me turn that back around and look at this for reference. So you can see how it's got the arrangement with all the flowers and the leaves that come in the kit. And then it's got the instructions for each flower there. So super simple. But I just want to play around with this and kind of see how I can position these flowers here, and how many of the flowers I'm going to use. Well, I need to make sure that I can set this up right. So I have to pay attention to the positioning of that leaf. And then, what about these two? Let me move this up a bit and see if we can fit both of those in there. Or is that too much? But I think I'm going to do it. I think I'm going to make this permanent. So I'm going to start with this base leaf here and add hot glue all over and make sure I position it so my rainbow can still sit flat. Okay, let me turn this a bit. I'm gonna make this leaf permanent too, I think. Well, crud. Second guessing myself. Okay, and then this flower here, I need to get another hot glue stick. Because these need to be nestled in quite tight together so there's not space. So just getting this pressed down. So let me move on to this bigger flower here. I'm gonna leave these green pieces just like so. And I'm gonna add the hot glue here. And then that's how those green pieces will be glued down. Just make sure they're in the position that I want. Okay. And then I'll add a little hot glue underneath just to ensure that those don't fall off. Hot, hot, hot. Okay, now these last two, maybe we should we just do the one? Let me prop this up. Because honestly, that looks cute. Like there's a little space here and space here, but I don't really think that it's that big of a deal. All right, so I brought in this other leaf here. And I think that that's a good position, and then maybe nestle that right there, and it kind of fills in that space. So let me piece that there. And I like how it's interacting with that arch. And then just really get that nestled in to that corner there. And then I can kind of fluff it out. That is cute, guys. I really like it. You could take it one step further and add some type of jewel or bead or sequin. I think that that would be really nice. I'm not sure about this little guy here. Like that, it fits right there, but is that too much? Let's just go ahead and add this flower. We've got it made. We spent the time to make it. We spent the money on the project. We ruined one flower. Let's just make this one fit in there. I really like this little piece, this little fluff. Let me see if I can remove it. I think I'm going to add this little piece down here. I know it's pink on pink, but I like how this looks just because it's different, right? Just adds another little flower to the mix. So that is a simple craft. Like I said, you could do this with your Cricut, but I really liked how this turned out, and I'm so excited that I'll get to display that in my craft room for spring and really all year round because that's just so cute. Okay, so I ended up bringing some sequins out from Spellbinders, and they are for my paper crafts and my cards, but they're sequin discs, but they just don't have the hole. Excuse my pinky. I broke my hand when I was a kid. Okay, so I think I'm gonna go with the pink. I played with pink, yellow, and green, and I kind of did, I had like 3 here, 3 here, and 3 here. You know, I was playing with everything and then filling it up, but I think I like this the most. So I'm just gonna take regular liquid glue here. It's something else I use for my paper crafts. And if I can get the glue out, goodness, it's not wanting to come out. And I'm just gonna glue all of these down with this instead of my hot glue gun because too much glue would come out. And I'm just using a wax tool. I usually don't have this much issue with my glue. It has been a while since I've made a card. I made a bunch and recorded a bunch, and then I kind of took a break. So I've been really working on tutorials. So if you want to learn new stuff, be sure to subscribe. I think my next, well, no, I can't say that because I'm ahead, guys. I was gonna say the next tutorial, but that's already gonna be out by the time you see this. Okay, well, then I guess I'll go ahead and say it. I was given some magnetic sheets from Teckwrap before Christmas to play with, and I made some magnetic bookmarks, and they're magnetic sheets. You see a lot of people making them just with little bitty magnets, but this is an actual full magnet. Let me grab one and show you. So how cute are these? If you didn't catch the video, be sure to check out my channel for this tutorial on how to make magnetic bookmarks with your Cricut. And these are just from Cricut Design Space, and I made the little card out of, I think this is 110 pound cardstock, or 80 pound actually. And yeah, super cute, guys. And some more. And this is an actual picture of my friend's dog that passed away, and I just added some watercolor to it in Photoshop to kind of make it a little more animated. But that's actually his face that I Photoshopped and cropped down, and then added a little, you know, a little pizzazz to the coloring. But these are just some of the magnets that I've made, and yeah, so cute and so fun, dual-sided, and like, can't beat that. How cute. All from Cricut Design Space as well. If you like any of these designs, they're from Design Space. All right, so this craft is officially done. I really like it. If I make any changes, I'll post it on Instagram, but if you see it like this on Instagram, that means I've kept it just as is. So now let's move on to a vinyl craft. Okay, so I have this blank here, and I bought it on sale, and once I got it home, I realized that there is a crack in it, but it still has the protective film on it. Does it come out of both? I don't know. So I'm not quite sure of the, yeah, I think it's so beat up. I've had this for a while, but I just didn't return it because it was already $2, and I didn't quite know what I was going to do with it. Would I be able to cover it up? So I'm just trying to take this protective film off. It's on both sides. Oh yeah, so now that the protective film is off, I can see that it is quite damaged, but it is only at the top and the bottom, where this is, you know, really close. The wood is really close to the crack, so it's not that noticeable. Let me put this back together so maybe we can hide that crack a little bit. Yeah, it's just a little. Now that that's back, I'm not sure if the camera's picking it up, but where is it? It's like right there. And it's just kind of, it's cracked down here at the bottom too, and it's got like a lot of plastic stuff on it. It's just not, I just need to clean it up a bit, but it looks better than I thought it was going to look, so that is good. Let me grab a different weeding tool here. This is a matte purple from Techwrap. It's from one of those variety packs that I purchased a couple years ago when I first was testing out Techwrap. I bought a couple variety packs from them. I think one was a matte and one was a gloss, and I fell in love with their matte. And this is part of that. So if that variety pack's still available, I believe it is. I will link it down below for you. It's the best way to test out product, I thought. But I love this stuff. If you've been watching for a while, you know that this is the primary brand that I use. And like I said, I really prefer the matte. So I found these lilies. I just typed in like floral outlines because I wanted some kind of horizontal design for this blank here. And I'm going to put it against a more or less white wall. So I don't think that the painting it is necessary. But we'll see. But I really like this this purpley pink shade. And this is just kind of a modern, subtle design. Okay, so that is weeded out. How pretty is that? And let me bring this in here. I think that's gonna look nice. Now, obviously it would look nice with that white background too, but since I'm putting it on a white wall, I just didn't think that it was necessary to do a little white paint on the back, but I guess I can always add that if I need to. So let's bring in some transfer tape. This roll is finally dwindling down, and I have a brand new one too. My husband really liked using this transfer tape. He does vinyl things too, so he wanted me to order another one so I didn't run out, and yeah, that's gonna take a while. So I'm gonna trim this. And if you're curious, this caddy is from Target, Bullseye section. I've had it a couple of months. Okay. I liked it because these little pieces come out. It's 4 separate pieces, and then but you can also carry it with this. I've got some designs cut out to weed to put on this for a video. Just haven't gotten around to that yet. So let me turn this and place this down. Okay, and I'm going to burnish down on both sides to make sure that that vinyl sticks to that transfer tape. And I was going to clean that off with alcohol. I wonder if we should. Should probably do that right now so we can give it a moment to dry. So I'm going to use my pump bottle from Amazon and take a paper towel and just wipe down this one side here. It does have some dust and debris on it, and I don't want that to get in the way of laying this down. So let's just set that, uh-oh, the top of it came off. Just set that over to the side, and let's finish this real quick. And I'm just gonna nestle it down at the bottom. All right, let's hope that that is straight. I'm just gonna take my scraper. I am just barely applying any pressure there because this is acrylic and it's obviously cracked. And very carefully taking my poker tool there because I don't want to scratch that. I'm going to start peeling this back. And it's all laying down nicely. Okay. So this is the craft. Look at those lilies. How nice and subtle is that? I think that's gonna look good. What do you think, guys? Let me cut this tag off as well. So how much was this? $2.24, originally $8.99. It was cracked, but you can hardly tell. And once I put it up against the wall and hang it up, I don't think that's going to be noticeable at all. I could always add paint to the back, personal preference, but I like the subtleness of this design. Okay, so I've got my laptop here. I'm going to remove my screen so y'all can see. And I will provide the information of this project in the description box. because right now it's just saying the copy of 2025 Floral Desk Calendar, but it may be titled 2025 Floral Desk Calendar, but it is a project from Design Space. I'm going to customize it, and all the calendars are popping up. I'm going to reduce the size here because it's at 100%. I can't see everything. So the only one that I need is March. So what I want to do is, let's just hide all of these. I'm just going to go through each layer and press the eye icon to hide them because I've already made them. And some of them do have this little yellow icon there, and it's just saying that you need to minimize the size because of the print quality, but I didn't have that issue. I just changed the preferences to higher quality and they printed out fine. So discard that. So the one that we have left is March, and I'm going to make sure that entire thing is selected, and I'm going to flatten it because some of them have little details in the flowers that want to be cut out. So just be safe instead of sorry and flatten it so it is one print and then one cut of the outline. And my Cricut Joy Xtra is selected, so let's go ahead and select Make It. And I'm going to load my printer with 80-pound cardstock. I'm going to send this to the printer. Select Next. This screen here is just talking about the sensor marks and how you're going to place this on your mat for accuracy. So it's going to find my printer. I'm going to turn off the bleed. I'm going to click on the Use System dialog and then press Print, and then the preferences will pop up, and that's where I'll change the print preferences to higher. So click on Preferences there, and then Quality to high. Okay, so my printer is ready. It's got the 80-pound cardstock in the tray. I'm going to select OK and then Print. And while that is prepping, move these aside. So after this gets cut out, then I need to cut out the stand for this. And now it's saying to verify the print quality, and it didn't print. Okay, now it's printing. There's just a little delay there. Trying to keep my laptop screen out of the reflections of the light. So I'm just going to put it to the side. And now I need my light grip mat for the cardstock. And let's go ahead and remove that protective film. And I recently, since we moved, I'm storing things differently. I had to hole punch my mats, and I used my We Are tool. This thing, I bought this because it can cut through multiple materials, such as like faux leather and leather, and it cut this out effortlessly. I love this thing. I got it on sale about 1.5 years ago, and I love it for just those harder materials that you just want a simple hole in, right? Okay, so it's still printing. It's taking longer because it's a higher quality. I need to browse all materials and select my cardstock, which is 80 pound. Select Done. And my cardstock is just from Hobby Lobby. It's the Paper Studio brand. So this is the sensor mark that notification was showing us. So it needs to be in the top left corner. So just upright. I'm going to place that down and then grab my brayer tool. Make sure that this is stuck down. And I'm using my brayer tool instead of my hands because I don't want any oils or dirt to spread onto the paper or smudge that ink. Okay. And now my machine is blinking and it is ready for us to load our machine. So it's going to register the mat and the registration marks, and then I'll select Go on my computer, and then it'll cut it out. And then we'll place these in order, and then I need to find that calendar stand as well under Projects in Cricut Design Space. So now it is ready for me to press Go. So now it's just going to cut around the calendar. And also in this project, if you didn't like these flowers and you wanted to create your own, you can see how this designer put it together. She's got all the calendars separated and then the floral piece separated too. So you can kind of see the breakdown of how she pieced it together. So if you just wanted to use the calendar part and add your own floral, you could. All right, so it is done. I'm gonna press unload. And now, real quick actually, let's go ahead and click done here. And let's go to the left-hand side, projects. Let's click on bookmark and see if I have that. So there it is, there's that calendar. So I will provide the information for the specific calendar down below. But you can see I have a lot of stuff saved. What is that called again? A calendar. Let's expand this, and then card stand. Okay, there it is. Calendar stand, card stand. So I'm going to select that, and then let's just go ahead and select make it. Okay, now it's just saying that edit a copy. Okay, we're going to replace this. Oh wow. Okay, so I'm going to minimize this so I can see everything. Cut 2 layers of the same color for extra stability. Use this if you have a scoring tool. Use this if you don't have a scoring tool, if you have a Cricut Joy or Cricut Joy Xtra. So I'm using my Joy Xtra today, so I'm not going to use the score tool. So let me go ahead and let's just delete these. And delete all of that. And we've got these 2 here. Let's go ahead and select make it. I'm not going to save it. And we're going to place our cardstock on a mat. So I'm going to confirm that. And it's saying you can do it twice for extra durability. I'm going to use a 110-pound cardstock. So I think that that will be substantial. But if it's not, I'll cut it out again. So I'm going to select continue. And now it's just searching for my Joy Xtra. So let me clean this mat off so we can get prepped for the second part. Bending my mat and not my paper. And I think my blade is about ready to be replaced because it started out really, really good cutting this paper, and now it's a little harder to get this cut out or like pull it apart. Okay, so that is March. How pretty. And you see how vibrant those colors are? And you could use the pen for this and write it, but I really like how that looks. It still looks like a handwritten font a little bit, but it's really clean because it's printed. All right, so I'm going to use this for scraps for my paper craft. So I'm going to set that aside and bring this back in, and we're going to do heavy cardstock. I have it bookmarked 100 pound. I think, did I say 110 pound earlier? I think that's what we're going to use. Yeah, so we're using 110 pound, but we're selecting 100 pound because that's the option that Cricut provides. Getting that pressed down there, and let this register, and then once it's ready, I will press go, and it will cut that out, and then we can score it by just putting it on my scoreboard that I use for my cards. So I'm going to go ahead and select go, and now it's going to cut this out. And then we'll see how this works. I obviously haven't made this before, so we'll learn together. And that doesn't look good. Right now it seems that it's making little, well, the blade's not out. Yeah, it is. It's poking little holes in it. Okay, but we'll see. We'll see how this looks. If it did something that doesn't work, I'll go back and look at the file and detach it or ungroup it and kind of see what was going on with the little score lines there. But maybe they just made these little dashes so the paper will fold. Which, if that's the case, I think so. I think that's what they did. Yeah, that's awesome. Okay, so now we learned something new as well. If you want to use your Joy Xtra, it doesn't have the ability to have a scoring tool in it to make that line. But if you still wanted that score line, they just made little dashes, and they used that with a little dash in the shapes. Okay, so I'm going to unload. And like I said, I didn't resize the calendars. I didn't resize this stand. They were not paired together. Okay, so since this is so thick, I'm still gonna get out my scoreboard for alignment. Okay, so this is a We Are Memory Keepers tool here. And let's just align this. And now I need my bone folder. It's right here. I just lined those little notches that my Cricut made. Okay. And now it is debossed there. And now I can fold it. And let's bring in our calendar. Oh my gosh. Y'all, look. That's perfect. And if you wanted to make it more stable, just cut this out again and glue the two pieces together. And then you would have a little more thicker stand. So now let's look through these and get these in order here. So we've got March. So let's start here. So we'll do March. And I'm trying to find April. Do I not have April? I thought I did. Do I not have April? I need to cut that out too. Uh-oh. I almost ripped the flower off. Okay. August, September, May, January, February, March, April. I don't have April. Okay. So I'm going to go back and do that off camera. So I'm going to bring that project back up again. Let's go to projects. Let's go to bookmarked. So this is the entire design there. You can see them all laid out. So what does April look like? Oh, it's got that orange flower type thing there. Okay. So this is what I was talking about earlier, how the design is broken up. You can see how the designer put it together. So if you wanted to just use the calendar, you could bookmark that, add it to your canvas or the florals. So you don't have to use them together if you didn't want to. Okay, so I'm going to edit a copy. I know what April looks like. So I'm going to get that printed out and cut out. And then we'll get this in order. And we've got another craft to do. And then I think we will call it a day. So for this one, I did it a little differently. Instead of hiding all the other layers, I just went to make it and I just went down to the mat that has the one that I need, which is mat 10. This is April. I'm going to continue and I'll just bypass the other ones. I'll just get this one printed and cut out and then we can go from there. Uh-oh, I didn't flatten it. So let me go back and flatten it. April, flatten. Okay, so now let's make it. Okay, now go back down to the correct one, mat 10. This is April. Let's continue. And I'll load my printer and we'll get this one all done. All right, so now we've got March, April. I really like that color, that coral. And then May, which is my birthday. And then June. July, August, and September are really pretty and they match. And there you have the floral calendar. And there's some really cute ones on there with the calendar being shaped like a vase and having like a ribbon or a bow around it. So many ones that you can choose from for this year, or you can make your own. And the calendar stand as well, which is pretty durable. You could resize that if you wanted to make it a little taller. But this is the print and cut craft. And I'm so glad that I did it. And I hope you guys like it. Well, what a bummer. I don't think my camera was recording for the last craft. So if it wasn't, I'm so sorry guys. But I found this in Design Space. I created a template. First off, measure your blank. then take the shapes in Cricut Design Space. I took a rectangle, made it the size of this cup, and then chose flowers and bumblebees from Design Space and put it together in this pattern. And I really like how it turned out. And the colors are matte colors, matte pink and matte yellow from Teckwrap. So I will link those down below for you. And this is it, guys. Thank you so much for watching, especially if you made it this far. I know this may be a long one for you guys, but I appreciate your views and your support. Thank you so much. All right, guys, happy crafting. If you make something, tag me on Instagram so I'm able to see what you're creating as well. And check the description box for the details that you need. Ask me questions in the comments, and I'll see you in the next card or craft. Bye, everyone, and take care.